Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of the World's Best Dad Show. You're here with Adam and Brian. Brian, go ahead. What do you have to say
Hey,
about
I'm
that?
Brian. I'm Brian, and that's Adam, and we are bros. And we're so glad that you joined us today for the World's Best Dad show. And the show is brought to you by Fortunato Chocolate, which is our chocolate company. We are brothers and founded a chocolate company about 15, 16 years ago
16, yep.
now. We buy one variety of heirloom cacao from one group of farmers in the far north of Peru, and we turn it into amazing chocolate called Fortunato Number 4. You can find us at fortunatochocolate.com. That's Fortunato, fortunatochocolate.com. And there you'll find a delicious assortment of really yummy stuff. And we hope you like the show, and we hope you like the chocolate.
Also brought to you by, if you're watching the video, also brought to you by the book, Finding Fortunato. You see, I practiced it before we got on the
Nice, well
yeah,
done.
on the broadcast here. You can check it out. The link to our website and the link to where you can check out the book on Amazon are both down in the description. The book is about our time buying cacao and starting a chocolate business. It's a foodie, travel adventure, multicultural,
Business.
love story, drama book. I've read a lot of these entrepreneurial books, and a lot of them are about business, but not about life. But you really can't separate the two. Being a business owner and an entrepreneur, at the same time a husband, at the same time a parent, it's all bundled in together. You can't really write about one without writing about the other. So it's all in the book. It's a
That's
complete,
awesome.
yeah. It's kind of about a complete life as an entrepreneur doing business as Americans doing business in Peru. So if you want to check it out, it's there.
And
Also,
by the way, I
go
just
ahead.
want to, for anyone who's watching this, I just want to apologize. I'm in an Airbnb because we're on the road. The lighting is bad. I've got a goggle tan because I've been snowboarding all day with my son and my wife. So I look terrible, but it doesn't affect the advice. It doesn't affect the world's greatest dadding that we're about to do. So I
Oh
just want to
yeah,
put that
yeah.
out there. Please ignore what you're seeing, but enjoy what you're hearing.
Substance over form, dude.
That's right.
Substance
That's
over
right.
form. But also let it be a lesson to anybody who's watching that even though you're on the road, we're still sticking to the schedule that we set out,
Yeah.
and that's a good deal.
Also, use more and better use more and better sunscreen than I did today when you go spring snowboarding.
Although I've noticed, man, over these last 2 days, your head is looking freshly shaved on both days. Smooth.
No, it just grows. By the way, as I mentioned, I think on the last show, I have a full head of curly hair. I've elected to shave because I like this look, but I have a full head of curly hair, but it grows slowly. One of the things about aging, I'm not as young as I used to be, Adam, and that's going to become a surprise to you. But one of the things that happens is your hair starts to grow a little more slowly. On your head, on the rest of your body, it grows
Much,
like
much more
eight
quickly.
times faster. On your ears, it's like
Hey,
42 times faster.
all that, but you know what people don't talk about? Your eyebrows. I don't know how your
Oh,
eyebrow game is, dude. I looked at myself in the mirror this morning and I had one long hair
yeah,
hanging down almost over my eye, but I had
yeah,
just
yeah.
washed my hands and they were kind of
Mhm.
moist and damp. And I was trying to pull
It's
that
gonna.
thing out and it kept slipping
Oh
off.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The eyebrow thing. And then I remember I first knew that I was growing ear hair because we went to a party and there was talking about kids. I had to have a little side conversation with the father of these two young ladies. I
Hmm.
came over to say hi and we got into a little bit of small talk. And instead of looking me in the eyes, their eyes kept drifting over to my ear. And I said, why do her eyes keep drifting to my ear? Then I went in the bathroom and looked, and that was the first time ice cold reality came crashing down on me.
Oh yeah,
I'm a dude with ear hair.
yeah.
Bummer.
And here's some that first time that something comes crashing down, like here's something that most dads can relate to. You haven't hit it yet, but you will shortly. I always made fun of my dad, my uncle, my cousin, everybody about needing to read reading glasses.
Yeah, I'm not there
And
yet.
then one day I was sitting up on the my in my living room in my house in Cajamarca, Peru, where I lived for 15 years, and I was eating a yogurt, and I was like, hey, I wonder what's in this yogurt. And I went to look at the ingredients. Just a big blur. As once I got it far enough away for the letters to seem clear, it was so far away that I couldn't read it, and I was like,
That's weird.
oh, I need glasses. Just in one moment, I realized, yep, I need glasses. Icy reality
That's
crashing
a
in.
that's a weird moment.
That's a dad thing because by the time you're old enough to be a dad, icy reality starts crashing in.
I'll say one last thing before I say this thing, and then before we get into the episode.
Yeah.
Also, if you like this show, please mash the like button. I heard you say that. I don't know if you can really mash a like button.
You do. You take your fist, you make a fist, you
Yeah.
take it and you mash
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
into the
So
like button. This assumes that everybody has a great big red button on wherever
and
they're
you just
listening to
mash
this
it down.
that says like, and they can just,
I'd like to
yeah,
elbow it, dude.
that's
Elbow
right.
the
I
like
like
button.
it. Just
And
yeah,
then
get that button.
even when we're on vacation, I'm going to be going to Peru at the end of this month. I still plan to do these with you while I'm on the road.
I don't
So
have a
we'll keep
problem
our
with that.
schedule. And so go ahead and subscribe. You're going to get 15 to 20 minutes of hot dad talk every
Mhm.
weekday. If to the extent that we can, we'll do our best to hold on to that schedule. Now, I was going to tell you, my middle
Isn't that
son,
all anybody can do, Adam? Their
that's all
best,
you can do as best
right?
you can.
I mean, that's all you
Yeah.
can do. I mean, talk about parenting.
But
Do your best, kids.
but a lot of people say they do their best, but it's not actually the best. So
Mhm.
all you could legitimately do is the best you. I was talking to my son about this morning.
Uh-huh.
Because I said, "Hey man, will you do this thing that you promised you're gonna do?" He said, "Hey, I'll try my best." I said, "I got no problem if you're gonna try your best, but you have to actually try your best. You
Yeah.
can't just not do it and say, 'Hey, I tried my best.'"
Plus, he doesn't have a job or any meetings or anything. So I mean, he should be able to dial that in, right?
He should be able to hang up the jacket that he
He doesn't
left
have to
laying on
like
the
go to
floor.
school. He's homeschooled. So
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
homeschool.
he's got the opportunity to complete the test.
Yeah, and that I reply with that quite often when people say they're going to try their
Mhm.
best. So I got no problem with you trying your best, but it has to actually be your best.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fair
So,
enough.
all right. Now, speaking of cold reality, I've got a fella in my house, my middle son Levi, who is 8 years old, who's a little
Yes.
comedian,
Mhm.
who always gives it to everybody straight. This is how comedians do it. They find a little flaw in your personality and they give it to you straight. So he told my wife, I'll just say it, I don't care. He told my wife the other day, he's like, "Mom, you put on some weight."
Oh,
And then she came to me and she said, "Hey, is this true?" I said, I don't believe that, what he's saying. No, he's wrong about that one. No, he's always making stuff
that
up.
might or might not be good fathering, but it's good husbanding.
It's good, really good husbanding.
Yeah.
And then I was laughing. I said, "Levi, man, that guy's a straight shooter. He's so funny." And then he said, "Hey, Dad, I noticed you're always sitting on the couch and you don't really play anymore. You probably don't have any energy left anymore, do you?" I said, "Ooh, oh man." Now he's shooting me straight. And I used to be the dad who would throw my kid up on my shoulders and gallop around.
Yeah.
And we'd be outside playing tag. And now
Mhm.
I'm the dad who will totally sit on a couch and fall asleep into a nap very quickly if I'm not moving. And
Well,
Levi
let's
called me
talk
out
about
on
that. Let's talk about the evolution of fathering, because there's a thing that happens as you know, you have three boys. I have
I have three
a son
boys.
and a daughter. And the first thing that happens is you're very on it for your first kid. And then as you get through the progression of different kids, and as you get a little older, and as you're hopefully progressing in your career and trying to focus on
Good point.
on getting some things like put away for your kid's future, you start to lose that ability to just stop for 3 hours and build train sets, and you have other stuff to do, and you're exhausted all the time.
And
'cause you're
even if you
older.
had the time, you
Yeah.
do lose your energy. You lose your juice for being
Is
able to
that
play.
so? Is there some kind of an unfair expectation put on fathers that like you're supposed to have that career humming and be like on top of that, and also be the play guy and do all of that? Like, is that a realistic? Is it unfair? Can anybody actually meet that expectation?
I don't think you can. I think the best that you can hope to be as you get a little bit older is
Mhm.
around.
Well, by the way,
best, you
as
know,
a
like,
much
"Hey man,
older
I'm
dad,
here.
I
I'm
hope you're
doing."
right.
What's that?
As a much older dad, I hope you're right.
Yeah, but you don't have three little boys. You just got the one little boy and a teenage girl. So
That's right.
I think they say, I like in boxing, they say a guy's got a lot of they sometimes an older fighter who hasn't been boxing, sometimes
Yeah.
an older fighter, but who doesn't fight as often as a younger
Mhm.
fighter. So you say he has less, you say he's got a little bit less mileage on him.
Yeah.
So you're older in age, but I've got a lot of mileage on me.
You're accruing mileage, right? You're putting mileage on the odometer much more rapidly than I
At
am.
this time I am. At this time
Yeah.
I am.
Mhm.
And there are days where I wish I could play, but everybody just wants something from
Wait,
me.
I have a question, Adam.
Yeah.
Is this purely a fathering podcast, or can a kid make a
Come
cameo
on,
appearance on
bring
this?
them on, man. Throw them on.
Dominic, come here,
Hey,
you.
hey,
Come
listen,
here.
dude.
Look at this guy. He
It's
just
our
came back
show.
from the hot
Hey,
tub. Look at
it's
this
our
guy. That's
show.
my
We can
boy
do
right
whatever we
there.
want. We can do
That's
anything
my
we want.
boy.
It's a good thing so they know we're not making this up.
That's right. All right. Go do your thing. That's
Dominic's
my boy, just from the hot tub. He went to the hot tub to relax those legs after a long day of snowboarding.
Do you want me to send you the link to this when we're done so that Dominic can see himself on YouTube? I'll send you the
He
link.
just put himself out there to hundreds of, I assume we have hundreds of thousands of listeners, and viewers,
More
Yeah.
every day.
with
I'm not
no
gonna-
shirt on. So
don't
he's
ta-
just putting that out there.
I don't talk about the number of viewers, but I just tell you this, Brent, more every day.
There you go.
More,
Absolutely.
more every day.
Somewhere from 2 to 7 digits, and we'll just leave it at that.
I think the unrealistic expectation. Yeah, there's an unrealistic expectation from kids, but the kids
Right.
don't know any better.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I got a reputation in my house. I tell a good story. You know me, man. I'm a good storyteller.
You are that.
And my kids like me to tell them a story.
Mhm.
But they had an expectation of me that I could come up with any number of good stories on the drop of a dime because I have a track record. Or I'm sure your son, because of what you do, he thinks you're ready to play and get down at all times. And sometimes you don't got it, dude. So the best you could be is just in the vicinity, just around with your
I think
presence.
there's something to that, and
Yeah.
that's something that I think dads need to hear, which is if you're there and you're interested enough to, if you are concerned enough to wonder if you're doing a good job, you're probably doing a great job. That's what I would put out there.
Yeah, and a callback to doing the best you can. If what we were just talking about this about driving long distances. We talked about it when we were together. Once the nods grab you, you know you're in a downward spiral that you can't pull yourself out of. So if you're a dad and you're on the couch and you work hard all day and your kids want to play, but the nods have got you, and you just need to sleep for 15 or 20 minutes,
You're not going to be an effective player.
Well, I mean, you're doing the best you can, man. Like, you came home on time. You're trying to be present, but the nods got you. What are you gonna do? You can't do anything. The nods are one of the most powerful forces in the universe, bro.
The nods. Now, I have a well-known syndrome called carcolepsy, which is that when I'm in the car, I'm a passenger. I will not off. I'm a bad passenger in that passenger seat. I'm not gonna.
I fall asleep too. I fall asleep too.
And when I'm driving, I will. So you're right. You start to get the nods. If you get the nods and you're in father mode and you're at the house, is it permissible to go ahead and get your nod on? Or do you have to fight through and try to play? You're saying
Hey, man, there was a time in my life where if I had the nods, I would get up off the couch and try to walk myself out of it and try to get it going. But I don't have that kind of willpower anymore. It's not in me. I can't make myself get up.
You're not a young man anymore, Adam.
Nah, man, I don't have that kind of juice anymore. If the nods grab me, I have to sleep. And my father-in-law, my dad never really got the nods, but my father-in-law, Joaquin, you know what it is? Me and you are early risers too.
That's correct.
And Joaquin is also an early riser.
When the evening hits, we're starting to flag.
I used to have the willpower to pull myself out of the nods. I cannot do that anymore. I am a dad who lays himself down on the couch and takes a nap. And if you don't like that,
so we should. I have one more question for you, and I want to see how this has changed from generation to generation. We got to wrap this up. When you were your middle son, when you were Levi's age, was your dad down to play with you in the evening?
My dad was down to play with me, but not in the evening. I mean, first of all, my dad was already an older dad. He was 43 when I was born. But Dan was a business owner Dan was a business owner who owned a hotel, who worked until late. I didn't really see my dad in the evenings, to be honest with you. I had babysitters.
Right.
But when we went to parties or we went to social events, he would, instead of hanging out with his buddies at parties, he would get down on his knees and wrestle with me and play with me at parties. So he was a dad who was really down to play, but I think similar to you, because you were raised to a large extent by a single mother. I was alone a lot. So I didn't really see my dad that much in the nights. I saw him on the weekends, but when he was around, yes, he was down to play. What about your dad?
Well, I was raised by a single mom, but I also went to see my dad and be with my dad and stepmom for the whole summer, for all the big holidays, and at least once a month through agreement between my parents. And when I was with my dad, so my dad was a hardworking guy, and he would get home. He always used to wear cowboy. My dad's not a country guy, not a cowboy, but he wore cowboy boots to work. He would get home. He would sit down in the recliner. I would help him get his cowboy boots off. I mean, he was fairly planted at that point. there wasn't a lot of like we went camping, we went fishing, we went hunting, we would play catch on the weekends, but no. In the evening, I mean, he was beat, man. He came home tired from work. He wanted to relax in his chair for a little bit, have some dinner, chill, get some sleep, and recharge the batteries for the next day's, to go to battle for the next day. So, and I think there was a little bit, I'm a little older than you. So this was in the 70s. And in the 70s, I just don't think dads were quite as on it in terms of that kind of attention in the evening.
Well, my dad, yeah, like I said, my dad didn't really come around in the evenings because he was running a hotel.
Yeah.
But there was not any apologies given for that. That was just a normal thing. That was our life.
Well, he was working hard to support his family.
Yeah, and our mom was an entrepreneur as well, and she was in cahoots. So there was, there was cohesion in their approach. They were both on the same page. So nobody was laying any guilt trips on one another.
I think we should bring this up for the next podcast, which is that work-life balance and how important is it for the dads who are bringing in the bulk of the money and supporting their families. What is the work-life balance and how do you try to find it?
And you mentioned something else that we could talk about in the next podcast too, was this thing that your dad wore cowboy boots. I think all dads, because I have one, but I'm not going to bring it up right now. I think all dads also have a particular quirk that their children remember about them. And we could speculate as to what we think our quirks will be when our children.
I love that idea. Let's circle back to that.
All right, we're going to sign off. If you like it, mash the big red button, the like button with your elbow or your fist. There's Dominic again. Sweet kid. And then if you want to subscribe, do that. And check us out at www.fortunatochocolate.com, Amazon for the book. All right, Brian, any parting words?
I just want to say thank you, everybody, for listening, for watching, for going to fortunatochocolate.com, for checking out the book. It's a great book, Adam. You're the man. And thank you so much. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
You're the lead character. All right, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye.